Good morning, indeed. It is still a beautiful good morning at Classic FM radio station, and to you, our dear listeners who are staying glued to Classic FM radio station 98.9, the station of the people for the people. I believe I can hear the noise and voices telling me to say, hey, not Twisa, it's Classic FM radio, Classic Talk. Otherwise, it is Classic Talk. Today is a Thursday. For those who have been following us today, it is the time, of course, for the Classic Talk, talking classically. I don't know if there is any word compared to classically in the English dictionary. But anyway, if it's not there, I have inverted it. It is classically. Otherwise, we are back in the studios with Classic Talk today, of course, with your presenter, Margaret Kangwa, for Classic Talk. And I'm not going to get much into, of course, the details of introduction. But then I am joined by our special guest. This is a guest who has been with us, a guest who does not want, of course, to let the blink of eye go away from his people, of course. The usual guest from the Democratic Party. It is the famous Democratic Party. I'm telling you, this party is coming and it is coming. And of course, it is, so far, it is the party that I've seen that really wants, of course, to be with their people. They do not want to go away from their people. So even today, I am joined by, of course, Mr. Simukoko Lazarous, Honorable Simukoko Lazarous, of course, who happens to be the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party. This is the special guest who has joined me today on the Classic Talk. I'm urging each and every dear listener to tune in this time around and tell your neighbor, because as you know, Classic Talk is something that is, crucial, where, of course, our economic is concerned, where our development in Zambia is concerned. And it is very, very much important that you keep updated, you stay updated, know what is happening, know what is supposed to be done, what are some of the solutions to the problems that you are facing as a Zambian. It is very important that you tune in every Thursday so that you can be able to be with our intelligent, informational guest that we get to host right here on the Classic Talk. For those who have just joined us, it is the Classic Talk that comes every Thursday starting from 11 hours up to 12 hours. It's just a 1 hour program. Anyway, it is for you, our dear listeners. So I urge you to be to pay much attention, so that even as we are tackling today's discussions, of course, today's topic that we have tabled out on our Classic Talk with my special guest, talking about the economic challenges and, of course, in relation to the money that is supposed to be paid back. You know, there is a trending issue where ministers, of course, have been told that they should be able to pay back the taxpayers' money. You know, when I was talking about this issue yesterday during the morning breakfast show, people were very much upset and frustrated. So, you know, they were given 30 days of, the due days, 30 days that they are supposed to be able to pay back that money. So we are going also to talk about that. And we will talk about a little bit of the voter registration concerning the inmates, of course. And the person who has joined me today on the Classic Talk is none other than the famous Mr. Simukoko Lazarous from, of course, he is the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party itself. Otherwise, my dear listeners, I urge you to stay tuned so that you can be able to understand. And immediately after we tackle about halfway, I'm not going to say maybe around 11:30, because I do not know. This man I'm telling you, is full of information. He's going to give you nothing but the very best. So I'll just check my time and I'll check the progress with the program, that I can be able to let you in, my callers. And of course, the usual number that we have been using and which we are going to use even today is none other than 0971 49 43 48. 0971 49 43 48. But then I'm going to let you know when the phone line is going to be opened. Let me take this opportunity to welcome my special guest, who happens to be the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson. Welcome to Classic Talk today, sir. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, and thank you very much to our listeners, and thank you very much for hosting me here.
Exactly. So that is just from the voice. You will be able to tell us that this person is coming from none other than the Democratic Party itself. Of course, he is Mr. Simukoko Lazarous, who is the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson. I believe youths are also tuned in right now to Classic FM radio station. This is why we tell you to say, enjoy our programming, because we cater it all for you. So if you are youth, be inspired with Mr. Simukoko Lazarous, who is the Lusaka Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson, who has brought to you some great information today on the Classic Talk. Otherwise, I am going to go direct today. We are not going to have a break, isn't it, Mr. Simukoko Lazarous?
Yes,
Due to time, we are going to go direct into the issues so that we can be able to attend to them accordingly. Okay, so talking about the Democratic Party itself, I think briefly just explain what the Democratic Party itself is. I am not going to stop, introducing the Democratic Party, because there are people, of course, who have joined us who were not with us the time that you came. So they would want to know, what is this same called Democratic Party, in case they do not know?
Democratic Party is a political party which is different from other political parties that we have in this country. Democratic Party has understood the sufferings of the people of Zambia, and that is why it has come on board to say these challenges are supposed to be looked at. When you look at how this country is, when you look at the economic challenges that we are facing in this country, it is because we lack a political party which has got a political will, a political party which can say no to the sufferings of the people of Zambia. When we had Mwanawasa in this country, President Mwanawasa knew and understood that what we need, he had to introduce the citizenship empowerment. That citizenship empowerment which he introduced, he wanted the people of Zambia not to be going around the streets begging, not to have those people, most of them said in that talk time, most of them suffering in those streets. What he wanted is to make sure that that money catered for the poor, that money catered for the people who had no any means of gaining that income. But today what we are having in this country, it is the political party which is getting more from the people of Zambia than the way the people of Zambia are receiving. When you look at how countries are referring to people, countries like Malawi, countries like Rwanda, countries like Zimbabwe, the same Zimbabwe we are laughing at, this country are developing more than this country. But what is wrong with us as the people of Zambia? Does it mean that ise muno mzambia tunatenga nkuku yo fipa tapereka kuri mulungu banzatu wanapereka nkuku ya white yo tu bakuja? All of us, we are equal in this country, and what we need as the people of Zambia, we need to understand the challenges that we are facing. As Democratic Party, we understand the challenges which the people of Zambia are facing. Challenges which have to do with unemployment. The issue of unemployment in this country is devastating. That is why we in the Democratic Party have said, for us to curb this unemployment, we need industries. Those industries are supposed to be run by the Zambian people. Not a situation where you see a Chinese is the one controlling the resources of this nation. A Chinese is the one building or constructing these roads that we have. We in the Democratic Party, when we come up with these industries, we are going to ensure that even training centers are readily available in this country, so that our my engineers bachuka ku CBU, my engineers bachuka ku Unza, my engineers bachuka ku Mukuba University, bonse aba zambo bapitsa muri ama training centers, so that bazomwe banga spangira ma roads aba peni kamba bamuchawama banimvera bakwakanyama banimvera bamumunali mu banimvera. As I'm speaking to them, bena ngo bana pabambana memba my exam, bena ngo swaza na mwe baendera because manzi yankala mu road ma drainage systems yali mushe. Aya ma drainage system yata baba bwino. We can't even be ashamed as a country after 56 years of independence. We are even failing to put up proper drainages. We are even failing to put up proper industries which can be able to employ these people. When we had people like Mr. Kaunda understood that we need to be processing goods in this country. That is why we had a company which was assembling vehicles in Livingston. Things like Dunlop was made in Kabwe. But today, as we are speaking, there is nothing like that. That is why it's a Tkamokti. What we need the most, nukuyambo cha produce vintu se bene baki. When we had coronavirus, my countries ma border ya banavala. After bavala, if we as a country we depend more on imports, but it says wakavala, even if my country is bavala, we'll be able to see that there is no need of us panicking because this pangira vintu vatu muno. Manje lelo wakavala country niku tukwetinga ende kulibe. South Africa mwairiri bama ibaninga kuja import vintu. It faces sanctions sometimes, but baja bantu sibamawalinga because was that South Africa has everything. If vitenge vetiva vichokera mu South Africa vonse vamene vetiri navo muno mu country vichokera mu South Africa. But why is it that ise mu Zambia tilibe vili vonse? South Africa is younger than us, but South Africa pevenzo tenga independence aba. It's people like Mr. Kaunda who helped those people out. But lelo bantu bebana batandiza kuti batenge independence ba ija nje bantu bebasalira kumbuyo like Zambians. So Democratic Party on board will make sure that we the people of Zambia are facing good policies. Even when you look at how these things have been, we have got tourism ministers or ministers who are in charge of tourism. They don't even know certain tourist attractions in this country. They are not even aware. They don't know even the research which we are talking about here. But today, we in the Democratic Party are going to make sure that youth are at the center stage of making decisions. We are going to make sure that youth, these industries that we are going to be able to create, at least 10% of the youth are the ones who be in that industry. At least 10% of the youth are going to be involved in this leadership. Even my managers waiting kala nabo mayotinje bambonkala tatu akwata nensoni mu kyalo kino nensoni tatu akwata. When you look at how aba bantu mu Zambia mwe bavutikira benangu baina ma 40 years hapa, benangu baina ma 30 years, but bakadibeno sibenza po mu government, bakadibo sibenza po mu government ni country ya bwanje yakutati muli nabantu bebankala muno mu Zambia, bakadibo sibenza po mu government, and yet you get the priorities ya ma Chinese baja nje ba boss benza muno, mwatenga baje Malwandies baja nje ba boss benza muno. Penenzeri pano berango makola benzo acha agri. We are doing better as a country because bakulwanda bachokera kuja babwera muno mini ntibasunga. Those are jokes kuperebera manoko. What we need is that even the Chinese people are more in this country. Does it mean that Zambia is doing better than China? It's because they are here for business. They are here for business. But if we can be able to put up good things, good policies, everything can go better. And that is why Democratic Party is needed. Even the civil servants, some of them are dying. Just last week, one civil servant died because of the loan issues, because that person had to accumulate enough debt. Banangana na Kongole Zambidi bazipaya. But ise muno mzambia tika utati, ise tika bwela mpawa. Yaja maloni yanatenga ma civil servant yaja. Tizaka ya kansolinga. Ngatwa ya kansolinga maloni ayo. Baka kwata kona pisi abantu ba mzambia. Lelo panondelanda. Apa tulevu tukila muli Christmas. Bambia patawa kwitipona coin mutumba. Tunacha celebrate 56 years of independence. Bambina 56 kwa chitawakwete matumba panderanda hapa. But why is it that we can have a country which has got people which has got leadership which doesn't put the priority of the Zambian people and put its priority at the center stage? Abantu bavutika mu country. That is why Democratic Party is on board.
Okay. Otherwise, that is the Democratic Party. In case you have just joined us, this is the Classic Talk, only on 98.9, the station of the people for the people. Tell your neighbor that it is time for speaking out. It is time to make concrete decisions. Otherwise, if you have just joined us, I am joined by, of course, today the special guest who happens to be Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, the Lusaka Province Youth, of course, Deputy Chairperson for the Democratic Party. This is the informational individual that I am having today on the Classic Talk. So, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, you have explained very well about the Democratic as well as some of the challenges that you want to curb as the Democratic. But then let me take you back to a statement where you said you have been seeing. It is so sad to see that some Zambians, even till now, they do not work in government. So then I have come to realize that how is it possible that in a country like Zambia, a developing country like Zambia, how can it be possible that each and every individual who is qualified can be able to work in government?
Madam Margaret, it is called a developing country because the leaders are not eager, or they don't have that pain of making Zambia a developed nation. South Africa, it is now called a developed nation. It was coming from a developing nation, meaning those leaders were putting in more effort. you have just alluded to say, how is it possible that these people can have employment there? Of course, we understand we have got public sector and private sector.
Exactly.
But today, what we need to do is that the government sector need to absorb a number of people. About 70% of the Zambian citizens are supposed to be absorbed by the public sector. So now, what we are having in this country, these people are not even caring about the people of Zambia. It is possible because a country, a province like Lusaka, muno mu Lusaka muno muli malova bambiri muno. Mayouth pano peni kamba pano. Bena bagona che kuseri kwa mipando kya TI. Bakauka maparents babaza ukani tufuno pyanga, ukani mubwera balendo. Bali bena marumu yao mwe bagona muja balibe. Bati baja bantu ngati bali na nchito baja. Bazambo cherera pali beka che bazambo zati 6 hours mfuniko ukaninde kunchito. Bakazifola. Lero ni kamba pano aba bantu tikabapasa manchito aba through the creation of my industries etyambo pangaya nikatwapanga ma industries muno mu Lusaka. We make these industries in Copper Belt, we make these industries in Southern. These people will feel entitled because nibeve bazambo enda muja kusebenza ngati bambo sebenza muja bambo fola ngati bambo fola mu family mwa muja ngati muli muntu wesa maenda ku school because of sibali ben drama ngati muli ja mu family mwao muli bantu bakutati so mankala mushe na manyumba balibe bangakwanise kumanga manyumba because bambo fola bangambo sunga drama pangono. When they do that, even the increment of salaries will come on board. Not my increment of salaries baba pasa because one at my election yadi pafupi. Mazambians apamanji basegukamitu. Mazambians basegukamitu. We have got a country where we have got leaders who don't even know anything about this country. They don't even care about this country. But when you put a leadership which as vision, a leadership which has the president, bebana kamati ba TI inenacha resign because mu part mu corruption mu PF bari kalaba baziba baja benzi ba foreign affairs minister ninakamba pano pamene benzi ba foreign affairs minister sibenzo uyu mutengo wa unga huyu sibenze wena umvira kutati TI mutengo wa unga ni odula because benzo nkala most of the times he was abroad. So baja banazi kutati TI bana banga kubavutika. The people of Zambia are suffering. And they have suffered enough. He chose to resign. He chose to say, I need to stand with the people of Zambia because EPF to create a patriotic front which we have now, it's a counterfeit patriotic front because it is running away from the promises it made to the people of Zambia. And that is why today, Democratic Party is on board. Abantu bali chulile, bale chula muno. But Mr. Arikala knew that, okay, kuda abantu bale chuloku. Ichive mbachitila, uwa kwenye obushukuba mutasheri obwacha. That person he knew. He resigned as a minister and said, no, let me stand with the people of Zambia. Even in poverty, there is still dignity. Let me suffer with them. And let us make sure that we develop together with the people of Zambia. Mu political party mu atumuja. Bambiri bebalimu ni bakazi, ni mizimai bebalimu bambiri. Bambiri bebalimu muja. Ni bafana mayouth seba. Bena ngofuta gena bakulu balimu. It's a well-balanced political party. Lero ngasikobwera challenge facing a mayouth. Because I'm there, I understand the challenges which these youths are facing. And if a certain problem comes, there are those women who understand the challenges of women. They will be able to address them. Not abana kashitwa kwa PF mu. They are even leaving these people who are working. Our labor minister is a woman. Can't even feel pity for these people who are working with these Chinese. Because the Chinese people are treating these people very badly. You cannot have a country where you are having people who are supervising to be foreigners. We need to have local people to be doing this. Even our DC Zambia, the DCs that we have the district commissioners. When we come into power, you're not going to be choosing politicians as DCs. Because DC, it's the job of the DC to know that the challenges which that district is facing, to know how many teachers need to be recruited at that particular school, to know how many hospitals are there without these nurses, without these doctors, without this medicine. But lelo vameneti wona lelo ni ma hospitals yari be mankwala, ma hospitals yari be vilivonse. But my district commissioners very kuja. When we do so, politics will be aside. Those people need to be chosen on the basis of merit. Because in engineer we are one people. We need to be leading people. We need to be having people with qualifications. Aba bantu ba mu Zambia muno bafutika pamene nikamba paso benango penikamba paso bazana vebaza japalanchi mazulo ka vebazade yet kopa muja mu Copper Belt banacha discover mu 1895 pe banacha kopa discover kopa mu 1895 baja banacha colonize bajama white banacha benefit kuri jakopa tiri na bantu benango petina tenga maje independence mazambians wanambo cha benefit kuri kopa ija but Mazambians bali in charge na kopa ija lelo Mzambia imwe sinizopona swanga paka ngona industry yonse mjamkopa boti ya TI tareta industry muno ispanga vintu vaso so that those people who are not employed in mining sector they can be able to be employed in this industry which is created as a result of mining. But if of once kuribe tili na God muno we don't even know how far God has the exploration of God has gone. We don't even know how much the government is talking about this God, how much they are selling. But yet today country like Zambia inakangiwa kuchaya pay debt ija, inakangiwa kulipira debt, inakangiwa kulipira nkongole zija. Mae country lina gold, country lina copper, country lina manganese, country lina tourist attraction. When I had the chance to go to Luapula, I saw the Lake Mweluantipa. That is a tourist attraction. When we invest in that, ma tourists vambo both domestic and those people who are abroad, they'll be able to visit that. That will be enough money for us to balance up the balance of payment and the balance of trade. When we do so, everything will go well in this country. Simunga kale na chalo muno. Vokutat vonse vintu vetivala vichoka abroad. Ma Chinese vavalamo ndebe vatiletera kuno. Those are jokes. Sitima dilingana so. Tifuni konkala na country. Vokutat ma Zambians ndi wali pa center stage of developing this nation. Ma Zambians ndi wali pa fupi ku making sure ati vonse vintu vevili muno mu country vili well organized. Tikaenda ku Malawi jaichita mushe, not because Malawi lina vintu. Malawi doesn't have copper, Malawi doesn't have gold. It only depends on farming. Farming ya mwewilili they have managed to develop through farming. Muno Mzambia muno that farmer who is somewhere such alibepo na tractor lokali konse. What the government of China did when they developed through agriculture, wanakamba kutati okay ngati ndiwe farmer tizakupasa tractor. Ija tractor uyamboli pira as a loan pangono ngati sukwanisa kugula tractor hii veba na chita wanangamba okay tizatuma ma tractors yadi under this institution banacha sign partnership with those companies which deal with tractors. After baenda kuja, the government was paying those companies in advance, and then thereafter what was happening is the government of China now was helping these farmers to farm using these tractors, and they signed a contract saying mungacha produce maize which is minis munga ma bags lokali 100, you are going to give the government about 20 bags. Munga pasa ija 20 bags the government of China was exporting. That is returning the money which they spent munija organization. Yebana cha sign partnership. Apart from that, ija company Ndenzo making sure that it is dealing with the health of those crops. They had pharmacists there. Those pharmacists, they are the ones now who was looking up to the interest of those farmers. But muno Mzambia muno, after 56 years of independence, choosing a tumbwili kulima, choosing a tutemo kugwesa mitengo, choosing, I don't know even the country that we are in. Bena ngopano peni kamba ba Mzambia, tuwana pasa ko chance to it. Sankani country ya mfuno badbiramo. I tell you, wambili sembeswana sanke na Zambia ino.
Exactly. Otherwise, you are tuned in to Classic FM radio station, Classic Talk, that comes every Thursday starting from 11 hours until 12 hours right here in the studios. Of course, today on the Classic Talk, I am joined by the most informational and educational person in the video, of course, who happens to be Mr. Lazarous Simukoko from the Democratic Party, who is taking us through the economic challenges, the Democratic Party itself, as well as the money that that, of course, the citizens are supposed to acquire from the ministers who overstayed in, of course, government. Otherwise, you have just joined us. Remember, very soon I'm going to open my phone line based on the issues, of course, that we are talking about today on the Classic Talk. So, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, you can talk.
Okay,
you have explained very well. So let me take you a little a bit back of concerning. I believe I am concerned because you are from the Democratic Party, and our president from the Democratic Party is Mr. Harry Kalaba. And earlier on in your explanation, you mentioned that Mr. Harry Kalaba was our finance minister in Zambia. And at some point, he resigned because he wanted to form a party, which is now the Democratic Party. So my question based on the same issue is resigning a solution for a leader who has found something has become dense in his operation, and then you decide to resign. So is resigning the only way out to solve the solution there? Because talking about leaders who are resigning, I believe me, are you able to make sure that the people, even as we are going the 2021 general elections, the skepticism mind in the people is going to be eliminated if they are going to have leaders who are having now their parties influencing others to join them after resigning from their duties, like a finance minister dealing with finances? What do you say about that?
He was the foreign affairs minister at that point.
Okay.
So now, leadership, when we need to understand, we need to look at it in this way. It is like a bus which is moving. It's a bus in a driver, in a conductor, and then passengers mukati muja. So as a passenger, same as walungu bajawenzi driver, bajama passengers, these are the ministers now. You can only tell the driver that yeah, driver was on speed pe mwenzera, but driver pitan road because he sili mushetinga in the accident. But bajaba driver ngatsvamvera, what would be your choice? Muzawa imilika twa driver ya imilirani influence ruke because inabana kunyumba. That is what our president did.
Okay.
He knew that this political party is going away from the promises which they made to the people of Zambia. Among us, the challenge, the promises they made. Banagamba it's more money in people's pockets. Banazo wajat. Bantu wa Zambia bafutikana ndrama hapa. Bali bendama Zambia mu pockets yao moja. They also promised the people of Zambia more jobs. Banazo kutati bantu besu basebenza mu Zambia bapaka. Bafula malofu mu Zambia. So those are the challenges which the political party was facing, which had promised the people of Zambia more jobs, more money in their pockets, and lower taxes. Lelo Zambians valipira tax ya mbili. He said those are the principles that they stood on. Even Mr. Michael Sata, when he came into power, Michael Sata na PF. What happened is that the moment he came in, Banacha increased salaries yama civil servant up to 200%. But Banacha increase evil. Banacha understand. Because Banacha promised that we need more money in people's pockets. And that is why he was still in the PF government. Because by then, the political party was achieving the goals it made. But pe kuna bwera ndani batu aba babanyuba ba president batu aba mutu susebenza mushe so pe bana bwera baja they said no, this is what we stand for. But Mr. Arikalaba said no, we are the people who are built on principles. He said I can't choose see the people suffer. That is why he resigned as a foreign affairs minister and chose to serve with the people of Zambia. Not only that, apart from that, when he appeared on a radio station, he said can you accept if President Lungu called you to be the running mate? He said no. He said the problem which is there is that it's the car, the problem of the car is the engine. And then magula mataila yanyu imemweka kuri motoka ija. Motoka ingaende ija. Singaende. No matter a kind of a vice president you can give to the president, nothing can work. The problem that we have, kuchinjo mutwe, umutweta ure bomba bwino. When you change that head, you put a new one because umwela wala pupa because the Zambian people are suffocating. The Zambian people don't have employment. The Zambian people don't have these jobs. The Zambian people don't have enough money. If they have enough money, even tourist at tourism sector sembe ilimushe. But lelo, we in the Democratic Party believe that we need to deal with the leakages in the mining sector. We deal with the leakages. No need of involving corruption. No need of us trying to say no, since you left makumushu you are from there, so be this. No. People are supposed to work on merit basis. They need to be qualified. if they are qualified vintu vingankale mushe ma compound mwe muliri apa peni kamba bena ngo bagona che bena ngo apa peni kamba kuli bebakonda moba bena ngo peni kamba pana ndirama bali bezogula moba zija bena ngo bapempa che kuli baje bali na ndirama elo apa Christmas ifika bena ngo na moba maybe sibanga gule bena ngo peni kamba na nkuku sibanga gule ija. But we need to be responsible citizens. We need to make sure that isa vintu vetiri navo mkantri vilimushe uja muntu nga chambo sevenza not even sanga yenda na pali banzake yai nifuna chaso because that person is going to have enough money. Iyo ilichape mungati mulipa nyumba imwe munkala bena ngo bankala mu nyumba muja, and then every time ni ba mu nyumba mwina ngo basi drama ya ndiyo kuri nyumba ina ngo tseya ya ndiwe. The moment that man will beat the wife of the other home, a husband of that home sazangakala na say idionse because that person controls everything. Njebe vichitika muno mzambia ma Chinese wabwera muno, they are doing anything but abuse ma Zambians, but because they have MP shidia, it's more like Zambia can't develop. The fathers of this nation can't speak apart from Mr. Kalaba. Today as we are speaking muno mkantri muno, are you aware bantu wesu waenda kuma school muno muzambia muno we have got education bana ngati basiriza mu December kutibangene mu university ama public institutions they have to wait for 1 year. But do you know what can happen between that 1 year? What can happen is that maybe uja muntu jangankale na chikopo, that person can even involve himself in other groups yesingankale mush. As a result, even the dreams of that person can be shattered. Wakasiriza pasoma ngile stova mbolemba hapa bena ngoswaza na kwebaza enda after wakasirizo lemba because venze kona mwai because my parents benzo pasa ka wanu kwacha and then muzinga kapa bleki and then muchitezo. But today as we are speaking there is nothing like that. That is why Democratic Party in power will make sure that other institutions like ZDNS, Zambian Army, those institutions will be left for the young people. Those institutions will be left for the people who are qualified. What Mr. Kaunda was doing, he was getting these people who are just finishing these schools, fresh, bubbling with ideas, take them in those sectors. Mumama army, wapereka ZDNS muja. Jebenzo tanza lima. That is why even maunga yenziana cheaper. But lelo politics has been attached to these institutions. Only when we remove politics from there and leave these organizations operate independently, then we can have a Zambia which all of us as the people of Zambia have been looking for.
Exactly. Otherwise, very informational individual today in the studios. In case you have just joined us, this is the Classic Talk Only, which comes at 98.9, the station of the people for the people. And of course, my time check is exactly 11:36. I think it is the time that I should be able to let our dear listeners to bring up their views, their opinions, their concerns, as well as their advice, or rather, really, their contributions towards the Classic Talk that we are having today. In case you have just joined us today, I am joined by Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, who happens to be the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party itself. People who are able to speak, people who are able to voice out for the voiceless, the Democratic Party. This is, of course, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko. So, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, okay, I think before I tackle the second question, let me give out the line so that people can be able to interact with us, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so the number, our dear listeners, for your contributions is 0971 49 43 48. 0971 49 43 48. Remember, our today's discussion on the Classic Talk is talking about economic challenges as well as our monies, the taxpayer monies, in relation to what, of course, the ministers who overstayed in government before the dissolution of Parliament have been asked to pay within 30 days. That is what we are talking about, of course, and the Democratic Party itself with, of course, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson for the Democratic Party itself. Otherwise, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, coming to 2021 general elections, okay, I'm already having a caller. Can I accommodate?
Sure.
Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello.
You're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Okay, so make sure when you give us a call, be on a safer place where the Airtel or rather MTN network is not going to give you a challenge, because we do not have much time to pick a call and lose it. We cannot afford that. So make sure that when you give us that call, you have much talk time and you're able to be on a safer place so that you can be able to interact with us. Our dear listeners, the number that you are using to interact with us on the Classic Talk today, of course, with Lazarous Simukoko, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party, with your presenter Margaret Kango, of course, is 0971 49 43 48. 0971 49 43 48. That is the interactive line that you are using to interact with us. As we are waiting for the call, of course, to call us back, I think coming to 2021 general elections, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, I have realized that there has been so much concerns concerning violence in Zambia. And just today early in the morning, I was talking about the same issue of violence. So, I mean, coming to 2021 general elections, I believe each and every time that we are having general elections, there is an element of violence somewhere. So, you know, when we talk about the incoming 2021 general elections, I have felt it. I have really felt it in my blood that really, indeed, these coming elections, they are going to be crucial. So talking about, where violence is concerned, what do you think is the main cause of violence?
It's poverty. Vantu mukantri muno bavutika. Uja muntu yali benchito uja. Mukamulangana uja benchito uja. The moment that person is given a 20 kwacha to say, go and do this to that person, the moment that person is given enough money, that person will be able to execute that that violence which we are talking about. That is why government, they are many ikonda violence. Because by making sure that bantu abamu Zambia bavutika, after kubavutisa manje, no wapaseka 20 kwacha tiai, endana mmenye uja, endana muchiteso, aba bantu abangati bali na drama zambiri aba. So ngakale na pafupi na balungu baja. So ngale pafupi na wasiri abaja. So ngale pafupi na MPs wonsa basichalo bamuchawa. So ngale pona pafupi baja. It's because the people of Zambia are suffering. Elonga tine bantu bamuchawa mamu alabavutika. So ba president wanga vere konanzona tia inachokela muchawama. First bantu bamuchawama bazinkala ko mushe. So achita povaso. Manje muntu wakutati safa kila nzeru kurija place yanachokela ku what more a country like Zambia, which means bazakangiwa watu banakangiwa bakangiwa. There is no any better way of describing them. Bakangiwa. What we need as a nation is to put up a leadership, the leadership that will look up to the challenges of the people of Zambia, the problems of the people of Zambia. Thereafter, problems Zambia we are facing, we will be able to look at them and see, okay, this problem can be solved in that and that way. Lelo peti kamba pano. Abama Zambians aba, only when they are given this chance of them developing this nation, it can develop. Ija China, Singapore, Vanacha develop, not because they were involved in foreigners, it's because they realized the skills. Yeah, those people who are living in that country, those people who are living in China, those people who are living in Singapore, they realized their skills. That is why they said this country will be developed by its own people. Equally, Zambia cannot be developed by a foreigner. Bantu babwela kuno, bamipoka country muno. You remember before we even got independence, we are being governed by our foreigners. Britain was colonized us. Bantu babwela our foreigners banacha colonize. And then they were to the TI, China developed country. Manje country was actually developed bantu wanacha colonize. Awa bantu benzotika malai niya endani ukuchitani so. Okay, I think we can pick the call.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, you're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Mawuka Shani.
Wino Mashuka Shani mkwai.
Wino.
Okay, mnipa Classic FM radio. Ishina noko mletu mina.
Labandi.
Okay.
Kwa John Lenge.
Okay, your comment.
Abali mu studio balishani.
Ya mkwai balishani abafya shifwe twachule nsala katwishimo kongana mkwate fya kulya.
Nefuwe netule chula.
Ala isentu chitepo chimwa abafya shi.
Ombecho nala mifishako nichi.
Mkwai.
Ushomwe ba politician. Mwali kusangula kwa tikimitani tofwewe kashi. 1. Pantunga toa misala nishimwa luva. Nama wanu kwa chatule kwata mulesa mkupoka. Mwalika kuma account yenu. A problem nasanga mnomu Zambia. So ba politician inipa wangi na lileko kuchetekela politician ulionze. Mwalikusangula kwa tikimitani ubuchushu wena kabwa kapwe. So iyo emisango yena na anaka nayo ile. Chisma Mkwai.
Thank you very much for the powerful contribution. Remember, it is Classic Talk, and of course, only on 98.9, the station of the people for the people. Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, before I attend to another call, I think you can attend to the contribution from the caller.
Okay, wakamba mushe maningi. Wakamba tia ifo tuwa bomfya fenge mitanto. I'll use the language you used. Atifwe tuwa bomfya tia bantu abange mitanto. Ichibemba chitiro kweba ati. Umuntu wakwenjo obushukuba mutashero bwacha. Elo ekibemba kine ekirando kweba ati. Makumba akapeneko obushukubu mwakapeneko mulomo. Abama Zambians aba, I don't blame bakola beswaba because baba bomfya powerful na baba bomfya powerful. But barana tia awe ama political parties inishibons but bomfya nge mitanto. Try Democratic Party muyeshe. Ubushukutami bomfya nge mitanto. Be able to reach me. If it were lireta ku bantu ifwe abantu bari pisana even munganda mumo bambikuti bafyaro abapuba bafyaro abatunturu but teturanda tiyo since bari abapube bareisa kuri ifwe so bonse mu family myene muri abapuba. So you can pick another call. We'll continue responding to this one before it ends.
Hello, caller, you're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello.
Hello, you're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from? Hello? Hello, caller. Okay, kindly call us back later and make sure that you are away from your radio set so that we can be able to get your feedback. Okay,
I can continue.
Yes.
Munganda mumo mulafyalo abambi abapuba abambi abatunturu but imwenga mule munana fena abapuba every day no nipanganda mukala munata munganda mudamu abafye puba but mulela bokwe bati na abatunturu munganda muliemo baba no ni ku skulu ko wali babantu abapona kwa bana abantu abapasa teti mule munati abantu abapona tiyo ababala pona paskulu pada bala pona tefyo chalo chaba kuri ko bana abapasa. We are the people, we are the political party who has made sure that to the close na abantu. You can go on with a call and then we will proceed later.
Hello, caller. Hello, you are through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from? We can get you, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from? Okay, so make sure that you are on a safer place. Today the weather is kind of chilling, and usually we experience bad, of course, network. Otherwise, you can still reach us. So if you have called us already, do not call us back again so that we can be able to accommodate other callers as well. Okay, so the number that you are using is 0971 49 43 48. 0971 49 43 48. And just in case you have just joined us, this is the Classic Talk that comes every Thursday, of course. And today on it, I am joined by the Lusaka Province Deputy Chairperson from the Democratic Party, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, who is taking us through the economic challenges and, of course, the taxpayers' monies, which, of course, the ministers have been asked that they should pay back for those, of course, who overstayed in government when the parliament was dissolved. Otherwise, this is what we are talking about. The number that you can reach us on, our dear callers, is 0971 49 43 48. 0971 49 43 48. That is the line that you are using. Mr. Lazarus, maybe you can conclude on the response to the previous caller.
Okay, nachilala ndaini. I've said earlier, nachilala njwele. Bahari kala babacha elefe design kudia. Aba bantu balenda tiyo ama politicians tuwomfya abantu nge mitanto. Aba kala babanga bali shibata abantu balaise nkwa bomfya nge mitanto ngatabacha ele design because ni shibali bakwera kale nge mitanto. So bena nga balenda tiyo ifo batuwa nge mitanto. Bushe chinshi bacha ele design kuba ba minister kudia. Ero ni shibali na bakwera kale omutanto because bali shibo kwe bati amafya abantu aba muzambia bale facing na ya fula aba bantu banga balefu ati yo bese bakweba mikwere mwe bazambia nzinge mitanto ngakale nga badilolele first bapwisho ku saving us for foreign affairs minister ero baisa bapanga political party ero bambo kwera abantu nge mitanto nge fine basosere but muno muzambia muno badi isho kwati amafye balepita munyana aseriza kuteleka invitation inchitefi nefi ero futi ngatwalolesha muno mukantiri muno ababondera ndapa nabasumino kubati nabakwata amafya ifenga twapanga ama industries za muzambia balavene balebo baleranda palya kengira ni mina mu industries za tuleranda pwaba abena babale tuma mafoni aba bena balengufu aba bakonfu aba abalavene balya ebakalabo mba mu companies aya nomba bena nga tabalefayo okutusala nishibakulako nga nyapo mumachushi bati nga batusala ifwe tukeshibo kwe bati amafya amazambians balepita munyaya soka tuchitefi nefi alande myeba mwe bantu muno muchalo muno ba president batalala fye tondolo ngamensha mumusunga bati nabeshi bamafya wa amazambians abalefesinga nabeshi bamachusha amazambians abalepitamu bati ifwe nga twayimini na pamo twauma na akapi twamona tiyo tuchitefi nefi Democratic Party ngawena bonse tukabafye bwino.
Okay. Otherwise, this is the Classic Talk on 98.9, the station of the people for the people. Well, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, in your explanation, you mentioned that the main cause of violence in Zambia is poverty. So believe me, I believe the violence that we are having, just in the morning I was reading a statement from our President Edgar Chagwalungu, who was saying, a lot of the violence that we are having in Zambia is being perpetrated by the UPND. So this has come to my realization that, even, in these political parties, there are some people, of course, who are influencing the violence that we are having. So talking about the cause of the violence, which you have mentioned that it is poverty, believe me, don't you think even political parties, they are in the best position to eliminate the poverty so that the violence can be put to an end in Zambia?
Bamobene abomwalumbula bamobene batira ati bakwenda babiri nishina mumfwana abantu mwanifu apati Democratic Party na yuma abantu mwanifu apapa liponse bushe ndefa munyola ndifye mwikamu ba journalist team.
Okay, so
tamwa umfu hapo ninjishiba tamwa umfu hapo tamwa hapo Democratic Party ya abantu twanga bati no makadazi ba Democratic Party
it is not a party, it can be a member from a Democratic Party that is involved. Exactly,
that is I'm saying that member represents a political party.
Exactly,
when that member presents a political party, the headline will come out as Democratic Party members done this and that, but we don't deal with such. That is for those people who don't have anything to tell the people of Zambia. The only way they can be able to make sure that they rely on violence, it's when the people of Zambia are told something to say. No, I think you can pick up the call if needed.
Hello, caller.
Hello,
you are through to Classic.
Mulenga.
Okay, your comment.
Namwisha nebona kyero mwaka unda. So amabuteko yonse ayapitapo nalimonesa batekapo nombanga kwaliwo obuteko namona obwafirwa failure y'obuteko bwa PF napwisha mukwayo.
Thank you very much for coming through. Remember, our dear callers, the number that you are using is 0971 49 43 48, and time is not with us. This is 11:50. Very soon we are going to close down the lines. So the number that you can use right about now, and make sure that you are on a safer place so that we cannot be able to be getting your feedbacks. Hello, caller, you're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from? Bwino Mauka Bwanji. Hello? Mauka Bwanji. Mauka Bwanji. Okay, so your phone is having a problem. If we are able to interact with others, then it means you need to check your phone. Okay, so 0971 49 43 48. You can simply change your phone, or rather change the network. If you're using Airtel, you can use MTN to call on the very line 0971 49 43 48 so that you can be able to be accommodated to make your contribution. And do not forget, for those who have just joined us, I am joined by Lazarous Simukoko from the Democratic Party, who is the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson, taking us through, of course, the Democratic Party itself, the challenges and problems that our citizens are facing, as well as our the taxpayers' money, of course, that the ministers who are in office were supposed to pay. And of course, they have been given 30 days due. We are also going to tackle that one. Okay. Hello, caller. You're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from? Hello. You're through to Classic. Kwaiba Walia, your comments.
Is a failure all along because we can go back and they can support each other. All along from the way to go. He was the minister when Mr. Sata died. He's ambitious. You know why? We're supposed to have leaders that have a future. If you look at what PF has done, Chintu yakuli extremely nobody can even argue. And the Simukoko was just a mayor wakufagia vatobule ni mwependa mumuchidefinesi. Here in Zambia, all along, water, gassing, COVID, whatever. Now look where Zambia is today. We are proud of our president, Edgar Chagwalungu. And even though the man is saying to say, waka governing a question. We are not even interested in the fake politicians like the man is talking.
Thank you very much. Your time is up so that we can be able to accommodate others. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. You're through to Classic. Your name and where you're calling us from? Hello? Hello? Hello, you're through to Classic. Mkwai mwabomba shan mwafyashi.
Mkwai awe. Iyo programu na yumfika sebu ino.
Mkwai?
Nombecho ningala ndachakwe ati ati Lazarous we ulikoyo uwa ba yufitesi.
Mkwai?
Ito nalakwe Lazarous ni hivi. Ifintunga na umona nangu ichakufara na chilepuka. Ufirifu walanda na chilepuka. Nangu nachuwa ma. Ufirifu walanda na chuwa kuchilefu lenda bigozi baali kalaba nale kala na vena kumanta kula kumaleka na vena so ifintu ngachakwe bati nachiru bana afirefe bayo kwe bati yawe kandi fimile mo fene kampanye pati kuchiro konde matapali government efere bombana ba PF beka ukulanda finalesa aho bane tule tacha kufumwe ifike nangoni mwe ile mungesa pa buteko ngamwachite fitu nturuti twa mitacha atnamu cha mwamona lelo mno muzanda tufiretwa kwata maparties kind democracy tufiretwa kwata noma noti kulako ndema abanesu ko batapalisho batire wele se shota fuaya na totera mali
Natasha Mwafyashi, thank you for coming through. Remember, it is the station of the people, for you, the people, and this is the Classic Talk that comes every Thursday, starting from 11 hours up to 12 hours. And otherwise, today on the Classic Talk, I am joined by Lazarous Simukoko, who is the the Lusaka Province Youth Deputy Chairperson, of course, from the Democratic Party. So I am going to pick up the last caller, then we tackle some of the things that we need, of course, the reason why this individual has come today on the Classic Talk. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Mkwai.
Kuwa towali bunda. Mwane kwa chefa ipone. Ifinkuna fidula. So, 2021 out PF.
Thank you very much. Okay, so there is a debate today, and it is hot. It is on the hot seat. Otherwise, for the cause, can we accommodate one last? Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Mkwai.
Hello.
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 You can change your phone. Change the phone
Hello?
that you are using. Hello. Okay. Too bad for this caller.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you. We can hear what you're saying. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
So we can hear 09761 5732 we can hear what you are saying, but then you are unable to hear us. So if you give us a call, just go direct and express yourself. Mention your name and where you're calling us from and express yourself. We are able to get you clearly, but the fact that you are not getting us clearly, it is hindering you to interact with us. So if you're able to call back and go direct, tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Okay. Otherwise, we are only going to attend one last call so that we can be able to also let our own Lazarous Simukoko, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party, to speak as well. Based on the concerns from people, Mr. Lazarous, maybe you can tackle two callers' comments.
Yeah, mwalishi baba magiri mwefintu ifi turesi mona. Mwalishi bane chibemba charira ndati chimbwipa kulira nishupero kwa shintiriri. Aba bantu aba ngabaleri ana bena and then baisa pano bambo kulanda no you are chitefu tulebererako. Ala tulebererako mu family mumo bambi bala baba tunturu bambi baba bapuba bambi futa genta babomba bwino bambi simukadzinga tayikala bwino mule balolesha abazambians nibanga abadandaula pano ero babiri bayisafe bafuma munakiranda njibere mu family nga muri abali 7 momwe ne bambi bakapwisha esukuru momwe ne bambi tabakapwishe bambi bakafyalwa abatabakwata amano bambi futa genda bakabafye ifisoso efo cyabafye cyalo. So let me respond to our caller. There is a person called, though I will not tackle the names, I didn't get the names. The second caller said PF is the West Party since the person was born since the time of UNIP and he has seen all the government and PF is the West government. Mm-hmm. It is known. PF na bafirwa. In fact, bafirwa bachinjane nation to patriotic failures so that tumuntu fo tingabombana bena mbito batako understand. Na tura kuri bambya abali that no Alikalaba is a failure because he was a minister even in the moment the time of Sata. What you call failure mwarishiba I think mucha accommodate call last so that tumuno futu wala bomba mkwai.
Hello caller.
Hello mwasebenza bwanji.
Bwino mwasebenza bwanji.
Bwino ine ndine Freud banda ni chapena funso kuli Simukoko.
No, okay.
Funso yanga ni yakuti kuli ma prisoners yamene timvera kuti babotenga ma voter study muzaka cha bwanji campaign kuti bakuziveni kuti kuli Simukoko bamene bafunika kuti tibavotere nifuna muyankeko.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Maybe you can answer so that you can. Okay, all right. So in order, anyway, he's going to answer to that question. Thank you very much for coming through. I think for now, let me get hold of my phone line so that we can also allow our guest, of course, to express himself. This is the reason why he has come here. So if people want to talk, yes, we need you, our callers. But if you want to talk more and more, come to Classic FM radio station. We are going to give you the platform to talk. Otherwise, for now, let us listen to our guest, who is Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the famous Democratic Party. Mr. Lazarous Simukoko.
Mukaona makozi abwera so nishimuziba tibantu barema na mavuto. Mukaona so nishibantu bafuna Democratic Party. Tikaenda kuri ababebe kamba tino PF banankala banapatira mu UNIP banaona ma government yonse nivazona PF yakangiwa. It has failed and the best thing that we can do ba PF baende chabe itarema nabo na izem Democratic Party tiziba mavuto yapita mu bantu wa Mzambia takambodala abena ngwakamba tino Mr. Alikalaba is a failure because he was the minister since the time of Basata. Of course our minister since the time of Sata. The PF that we have wapa na PF yenze mupele konzeri basata baja. Isi yanako. Ise ba Mzambia ise. Tifuniko ziba kutati. Baalikalaba baja pebenzi banaenda mu government y'abalungwi PF yanyu y'abalungwi. Banaona mungati banachita understand my visions geyenze na ba Michael Sata. But petina cha realize hapa sibenze pona ma visions yali yonse banachita understand chiri chonse chakuti basata banaimidirapo. Bena ngo bakamba PF was worked I was with Mr. Alikalaba and the like.
I think Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, it depends on the opinions of people. If they're saying they have worked, then now indeed, but PF bomba. So you also need to point where you have worked.
Na chimieva njebele. Chimbwi pakulila nishukuro kwa shintirira matako tenseresho tidipinda ero futi chivemba chine chalira ndati kolwe akota asabirwa n'abana meaning abantu Muzambia n'abachula badefwaika abantu abakube mininako ngababe mininako bali abantu ero bakeshiba ngabayishiba abantu aba Muzambia aba ukwe bati natukwate bali abantu baletu mininako fika babwino so abangana bakwatoko bashintirenga kana bakwate bale bashitiro obunga ngana bakwatoko balefu myempia well and good but itaire meaning okwe bati bonsa amazambians bonse nabakwatesha nchito tare meaning ati bonsa amazambians abatukwete muno nabakwatepo bale omoko pako bati bakwate obunga
bambite balera so Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, I think let me remind you, just recently, you know, the government, the PF government, you know, is it topped up on the salaries for the civil servants, the 8%. So don't you think I think it's something that you should be able to appreciate the PF government to top up on the 8% salary on the civil servants?
Where were they all this time? all this time. Just because they have seen that 2021 is near, let us be able to increase these salaries for this civil servant. And what is 8% or 10%? 10% of 100 kwacha is 10 kwacha. What can 10 kwacha do to that person who is in the compound? It can do nothing. But it's a vertical mbaise. In fact, that our want to, if they mean well to the people of Zambia, they would have increased all this long time ago, just in 2016. But now what you promised Bantubaja, just like the way the people of Kawe promised about opening the Mulungush textiles. But I was like, no, Tkawina Zacha open Mulungush textiles. Lelo ijani sleeping giant ija. But ina go na palero. Tapara for ileshta Mulungush textile. Just like the way that happened to Mulungush textile. You hear, just keep your ears open. You hear that TI, Zaza Gula Mulungush textiles after 2021 elections. Those are the lies they feed the people with. They know that 10% will have no impact because about 6 months since we dissolved parliament. Okay. And when they
so Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, do not forget that you are also promising people that ama industries here. So if you are talking about PF failing to operate Pamlungush textiles, let me not hear that come 2021 if people vote for you na imama industries are pamulela ndaye kesuka tukapusana.
When we come into power in 2021.
Exactly. You
These
can continue.
Industries will be open. Every political party is governed by a manifesto. That is why I said the patriotic front that we have in the time of Michael Sata, it wanted more money in people's pockets. That is why it had to increase 200% salaries to those civil servants because he wanted them to have more money in their pockets. He understood how he was to make these things. But today, as we are speaking, what we mean is the vision carrier of the patriotic front is no more. But if one vision, ala vision itabashiro muntu. We muntu ngo tondoganisha kurukobo, bambare tondoganisha kumpumi bambikumona. Iwanga wafo wale tondoganisha kurukobo, ero wabikapo wale tondoganisha kumpumi tapadi finga bomba.
Okay, so Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, are you only talking about PF? What about other political parties? Why are you not? Okay, so
we have talked about MMD during the time of Manawasa. And I've talked here. I've said Manawasa
I believe if during the time of MMD, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, if intunga fiadi wino concerning let me talk about the dates that the PF government are having this time around. By MMD ngabadi bombeshe wino. Do you think about PF if ibade Kongo lentala ngabadi Kongo la poendala me so the way
before na program tairamba bachisura bwangwimira basa. Mwachira mfati we need to borrow for the country to develop. For bachira mieva. And we need to develop.
Exactly. So meaning that by MMD, they didn't put in much effort. So it is affecting the people who are incoming.
We need a leadership with vision. A leadership. You don't need to borrow for you to construct an industry. And Zambia has money, but it's nyanti Zambia ngataikwe tempia. Buchai munganda na mkwata TV. Mwasanga ati mula munganda mkwete TV ilya. Munganda ta muli ubunga. Ta mkwetesha kulipiresha lenti. Teni mwala bulaka TV mwashitishelo mwashita mwubunga. Efyo chifuiro kuba. Muno mkantri mnotu wali kwata jet ili aba president. Ila jet ila ngalo shoti Mzambia na tufiro kulipira deti. Nga wali bula washitisha ila jet. Pakwa tuwalipire mpieshi. Nomba wali abantu. Wali ishwana vision tabakwata. Napa kumaka pipambita bakwata. That is why mwachinji fema violence ishani. That is why bachira bare posa manu kufema violence yo fidia. That is why when we have got a political party which has got vision for the people of its country, bakula making a short baleva abantu ofo bakalachita not ukula abantu kula bakingatamwa kativotere tukamyuma badishwa no boboma netete bangume kwa otherwise.
Who has said that ngatamwa kativotere ifo ba UPND tukamyuma ngatamwa kativotere ba democratic tukamyuma
ni intimidation yo tulera and the empowerment that we are talking about here mfweni empowerment yabantu ngamondesha empowerment ya Mzambia muno ngatamundi aligned to a certain, if you're not aligned to a certain political party then you are not qualified to get that empowerment. Lelonga tuwalanda bana ati yo tulepera abantu 1600. How many people in this street collected that money? Few of them. Limbita bapokele. That money maybe only went kuri abo MPF. And then at the end of the day bana ati yo na fume MPF tuli bantu ba Mzambia. Uche nono mwinga wa Mzambia. Imwe muri mu chipani chomo mulelila. Politics lero no niwa area kola bachiranda kwe bati tureba using afenge mitanto because na bana kanefi. If muno Mzambia muno like muno mu country muno motu aba muno. Ngatu twabula by'abantu aba twababika pasuma ekyalo kuba bwino nga twabula abama engineers balefuma mu CBU abalefuma mu Mulungushi mu university abalefuma mu Mukuba university ebo twapangira training center muno mwa kupangira emisebo eshi ababa tutubalepangira emisebo noti lero mwamukubula mu Chinese ukula kuma Chinese kula taposa kona mano kwisikulimbira kusikulu tabaya because they believe in practical things nga twabula training center twabibika apa twabalangisha timisebo bapangefi baladhe na ba Mzambe bale bakala pange emisebo. Well, I've also explained about the issue of famine in this country. I've said what we need to do about famine. We need to ensure that the government partners with a certain company which is dealing with tractors. Those farmers who can afford to get a tractor on a loan, they get a loan, that one. They start paying bit by bit. Those who cannot afford, it's the duty of the government to make sure that they pay that company, which can help out these farmers to cultivate more. Ngamwali kwata 5 acres, they managed to do that. But ngamlewa mfiolu kasu, mukadi mafiri mbi 1 acre chapo mwaleka. But if those people help out in this farming, you are going to realize that this farmer will produce more. Ngacha produce more 800 bags. The government can get 100 bags. They also need to back this by making sure that they supply more fertilizers, they supply more seeds to these farmers so that they are able to produce more. And when we do so, we can begin exporting. That right. Export. Okay,
so you can just be brief, Mr. Simukoko, because time is not with us. Okay.
Ngabacha export fide fintu mukongo mulya. Bakongo mama bota post ya mukongo. Turadira na milimi smuggling of milimi. But that is business. If we can only sign a partnership with Congo to say we are going to be supplying you with maize of this much, we are going to have enough dollars in these banks, we are going to have enough foreign currency in government coffers. When we do so, we are going to be what? We are going to make sure that dollar kwacha rate reduces. Not only that, it's because of this borrowing that even the kwacha has increased. This is because when paying back the money, tabari pila mu dollar, soma lipira mu dollar, soma lipira mu kwacha in short. Wama tenga kwacha ije wapeleka ku bank. They buy that dollar and then they pay the other people, the other countries where they manage to borrow this money. But if this country can have enough dollar, the kwacha dollar rate will reduce. Inga bwelele kupitina pa 5 kwacha paja bwela maningi pansi. Manje muno mkantri ma jokes etilina weka. So with proper leadership, with visionary leadership, everything can be okay. And then wakambati, how will you campaign to the prisoners? Ni balast kosilifu na tia ya anataba question ya alibenzelu ya anachokera kwa so. Simo mene tima ngani na vintu hivyo. Abakora kama tawe going to campaign. Let us beat PF at their own game. No matter what we can do, we can complain. But the truth is, no matter how we complain, things have been put in this way. And you are appealing to them, let them open those prisoners, those prisons. We go in those prisons, we go and campaign from there. And if these people are going to be combined with people who are outside the Zambians or those who are not in those prisons to vote together, to kembana na bwena mamume, no. Otherwise, those people need to be vote in their respective rooms or in their respective cells. They vote from there. The counting begins from there. The reason why we get that prisoner to take him in that prison, it's because we need to isolate that person from the real people who have not committed any crime. So those people need to be given a chance to vote from where they are. If they are going to be permitted to be outside, then we are not going to agree with them. But again, on this one, let them open all those centers during the time of campaigns. We are going to go there. We need to be allowed to campaign from there. If they are going to close those doors and only they allow ababa mwankolo kwa mu campaign amudia tukabepa ila muruba mwankolo aba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko. Due to the time, of course, we are remaining about 15 minutes, so it is very important that we tackle also the other issue. Well, coming to aware with the violence and the challenges. Coming to the trending issue concerning the ministers who have stayed in government to settle their obligation to government. So, it has come to my attention, you coming from the Democratic Party, we have our president for the Democratic Party, Mr. Harry Kalaba, who is also amongst the ministers, of course, who are obliged that he is supposed to settle the amount, of course, that he, of course, is owing the people of Zambia. So the question that I would pose to you, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, why do you think Mr. Harry Kalaba overstayed in that office and, he was getting paid that money? Do you think he wasn't educated enough? He didn't know what the constitution says, being the president for the Democratic, Party?
First of all, I'll answer that question by explaining like this. How decisions are arrived at in a political party. It doesn't matter who was refused. It doesn't matter who was accepted. We sit down as a team. Just like in a country like Zambia. Muno mukantri muno sibonsi banavotera balungu baja. Benango banavotera benango. But baja, because Mr. Lungu was voted by the majority. That's why he meant to be the president of this country.
Exactly, it's a democratic
nation.
Yes.
Meaning baja benango ma voters banavotera benango. But baja benango songa batia wa president Lungu so president watu wa Zambia because they say na votere. They are going to agree. Equally, when you sit as the National Executive Committee or you sit down as the Democratic National Committee, that's what we call it in our political party. The decisions that you are going to make, if you propose something, what will happen is some people can disagree, others can agree. But if the few people have disagreed and others have agreed, those people will take the stance of the majority. They will go with that. That is why it moves by a voting pattern. If you remember, before even this government, this court had to rule that you are supposed to pay this much, it was only Mr. Hadi Kalaba who said, calculate the money that I need to pay. Thereafter, if the money is too much, I can be able to pay bit by bit. And then you tell me. And then the other minister stood up at Tiawe, Ali Kalaba. He wants to appear to be the special person. No, Ali Kalaba. So the president is not disagreeing with paying, and I'm sure he's going to pay because
so
just a day before,
because it has been long since this issue was raised up, and I believe I was even surprised and disappointed. They would have already settled that money.
The issue was there a long time ago, but they didn't agree on how much they should pay. This is when the calculations were made. So those calculations have been made today. If I tell you to say pay back the money that you had to accumulate at that point and that point, you ask me how much, because in your paying there
Lazarus ininga bombe nchito naishi batape nchito yandina ipwa nabanje bati yapa ulingire wafuma mu office nchito yobe ilingire hapo part 12. It is written in the constitution. Inena ala chitaka kileta written in the constitution ni part 12 opo na alekere na ambiro kufola sona so na ala ishiba. There is no reason or need to start waiting for somebody to tell me to say you are owing this much, start paying.
Lekeni ndondolo la ba president balungu nga bamukopa belt mulya balapoka allowance. Ba president balungu nga bamulwa pula balapoka allowance. Equally to the ministers. Minister ngayo kuntu, if it's on government duty, that person is supposed to pay back, is supposed to be given that allowance. So now you cannot calculate the allowances that you get in a month, because what calculates it's the system, depending with where you visited. What the problem which was there was, how much were these people owing? That was the question which my president was asking. He said, tell us the amount we are going to pay anywhere, and tell us the bank which we can be able to pay from. Now that they have settled this issue, he has not complained that he will not pay, and he's going to pay, I know. When he pays, those mistakes were made
within 30 days.
Within 30 days.
Okay.
Listen, other ministers have complained. Let me now not talk about Mr. Hadi Kalaba.
Okay.
We have got certain ministers in this country.
Yeah, let me mention, is it
Given
Lubinda's complaint? No, I'm not scared. That's why I've raised this issue. Exactly. It's Mr. Given Lubinda who has said he needs much time for him to settle the fees. Of course, in 30 days is not capable. I think each and every human being has got the right to express their views and, come out openly to say, I'm able to manage this, and I don't think there is anything wrong with that. What's your take?
It is the same government which has got a minister known by the name of Bomani Lusambo, who was saying, what is 2 million? 2 million which you can just spend on lunch for lunch only. And yet in the same government, you have got other ministers who are saying, I cannot afford to pay 60,000. That was 58,000 if I might agree, because the highest amount which is appearing on that list, it is about 60,434.88 ingwe. That is the money which is appearing. So we have got a minister who is saying, what is 2 million? And you have got another minister who is complaining about 60,000. That is a mockery to the people of Zambia. They are mocking the people of Zambia. Because if those people stood up for the truth, they cannot be mocking the people of Zambia. Today they tell them to say, no, what is 2 million? What is that money? And then another one is complaining, being paid by the same government, and the person who is complaining is is a cabinet minister, and the person who was just saying what is 2 million is a provincial minister. Ushaba foreshing pale wa provincial minister na wa cabinet minister ni wa nani? Ni wa cabinet minister, because that is for the whole country. Yet a minister who is just heading a province is saying what is 2 million. That is how the Zambian people have been reduced. That is how the Zambian people need to realize that when they are putting people in government, let them usher in a credible government. Not government type saying about government abadipo. Ngatoranda padi violence, awarecha violence na awarecha violence atia awe panto abana tubafunya pa badingire nyaba. Na bena na bakwata violence ifine muledi na fapene for mukadira. So you need to make sure that you put in a government which will be able to stand with the people of Zambia.
Otherwise, it has been, of course, the Classic Talk right here in the studios today on the Classic Talk on 98.9, the station of the people, for the people. And for those who have just joined us, wow, you have missed a lot, because I was with a very intelligent individual in the studios today on the Classic Talk, who was getting us through, of course, the challenges, as well as the tax money spares and how it's supposed to be paid. And of course, the good part is that he has mentioned it, that the president from the Democratic Party is capable of paying that money, because he has realized that indeed that money was supposed to be paid. It is the taxpayers' money, and it is supposed, of course, to go to the people. And he has said that he's definitely going to pay that money. And otherwise, talking about, in conclusion, just as I'm going to give much time to Mr. Lazarous to give us the conclusion, for those who have joined us today, of course, on the Classic Talk, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It's Classic FM radio station, and we love you very much. And of course, we wish you a very, very big Merry Christmas, and do get to tune into Classic FM radio station. Remember, it is a platform where you get to speak. This is what we always say for Classic FM radio station. The programming is all for you, our dear listeners, so that you can be able to know, to learn de la pesa. Otherwise, each and every Thursday, remember to always join us for the morning breakfast show every day, starting from Monday up to Saturday, because therein you are going to be informed. For the news comes every day, whether in Saturday, the news is always for you. You need to be updated, more especially apatwala ingira ma 2021 general elections. It is very important that ifirimba fyabafya kumatwi, because you find that inkondo na ibuka mu Zambia, because of the violence that we have been seeing around. Inkondo na ibuka imeta mwishibati na yambire kuchawama ifo tu ishibati yambire kukawama kashi ilipachawama kulukungu yanganda yenu. So it is very much important that you tune in, more especially to your number one radio station, Classic FM radio station, with your presenter for the Classic Talk, Margaret Kangwa. Otherwise, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko, we are even running out of time, and of course, maybe just give us a little bit conclusion based on, coming to 2021 crucial general elections that we are having, based on the peace. How, the advice, of course, to each and every political party outside there on how they are supposed to maintain that peace is observed, so that we can be able to curb violence, even as we are heading towards the 2021 general elections, as well as your closing remarks, sir.
Okay, during the time of Kaunda, when they were getting independence, it was the unity which brought us to where we are today. It was the unity of different tribes which came together so that we can get this kind of independence. But today what is happening is we have got this violence which is going on. No matter what we do, if we kill the people of Zambia, if we kill our neighbor, if we kill that person, we are governed by the golden rule which says, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. If you do that to your neighbor, if you do that to your friend, what will happen if that thing is being done on you? We need to be able to build the country that we need to build. No matter what happens, no matter the sufferings that you are going through, there is still time for liberation. Always remember that a horse and a tortoise, they are given same time to reach Noah's Ark. But that didn't stop the tortoise to reach there. No matter how much money they are giving you, no matter how much money you are being dashed, but if that money is not clean, it will not take you anywhere. What you need to do is, you need to realize that the country that we have, it's only one Zambia, one nation. You are built on that. Though other politicians only hide in those names, and they have failed to bring the peace that is needed. We in the Democratic Party, we are peaceful, and we believe that only the peace can be able to bring about development. Only the peace can be able to bring about that smile on that person, that smile on that neighbor. We need to be learning from other countries with what is happening, like Nigeria, countries like Ethiopia. How many people can wish Zambia to be like Nigeria, to be Ethiopia when it comes to that war? So what we need, We need a country that will be able to stand on unity. What divides us, what unites us, it's more than what divides us. What we need to do is a country that that will be able to unite these people in this country. We need more people who are going to be able to be with us. When we do so, everything will be okay. Democratic Party will solve your problems. Democratic Party will ensure that you are able to receive more than the way this government is getting from you. These civil servants have suffered enough. The people who are in these streets, amakadas bare chula. Apemfulanga yamba, they can't get any money. Apemfulanga yamba, they can't do anything to those things. Even ama bus drivers, apariponse po ba iminina, apariponse po ba iminina, apariponse bareba po kempia. What we need is to create these industries. If that Kada thinks that is more powerful, we are going to give that person a machine to say be able to be producing for this country. At the end of the day, it's the country which will be developing. At the end of the day, it is that bus driver who will be given that peace and that chance for them to be operating effectively. Mama ketias are not thinking about parents that go and start your business. Kadas will be on their stands. They'll be getting all that money. But when we bring in a credible leadership, the leadership that is needed, we will be able to know what we can be able to do as a nation. So a country like Zambia is a country which needs to be able to have people who are very much good when it comes to research, when it comes to development. But other people are being left out. That is why, as a country like Zambia, we need to have more than we need to have more than the things that we have now. We need to be able to get enough resources than the resources that we have. So the things that we have in this country are the things that we can be able to capitalize. We stand on them, and later on we develop as a nation. That wakwatane if you fire fire from Malawi, fire from Tanzania, wamkambo abatware baseka. But the longa twayakudia, nga twakuri ba mkambo, twakuri ba Malawi, twakuri ba Zimbabwe, twakuri ba Congo. Bala tuseka timwe fipuba mwe. Why do they do that? It's because they were seeing a country which was assembling vehicles in Livingstone. They were seeing a country which was producing goods and services. But today, as we are speaking, there is nothing. It is Zambia which was getting these trained teachers to take them to India, to take them to these countries like Rwanda, to take them to Uganda, because they had a shortage of teachers. But today, as we are speaking, ama teachers in Zambia munotabale bomba. We are going to ensure that you are employed. When you are employed, you'll be able to be a good person. That is what we need. For the people who want to reach me, my line is 0975. That is for those who are using Airtel. 0975 1947 90. 0975 1947 90. For those who are using MTN, the number is 0761 41 20 86. Those are the lines that we can go on. We really appreciate for this time and be able to speak out on things that are needed. Make sure that you bring in the change that is needed, because what is happening in this country, it's nothing. We need a credible leadership. The leadership of Mr. Adikala and the Democratic Party. Only when this leadership comes in, that unemployment issue will be solved. That issue of these civil servants accumulating more loans, it will be solved, because we are going to cancel those loans and we are going to start afresh. For me, I can only say thank you very much to the callers who have managed to come through, and also to those people who have managed to take time to listen to this program. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, it has been Mr. Simukoko Lazarous, the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson from the Democratic Party, today on your favorite #1 program, which is a Classic Talk. I'm urging each and every individual who feels like speaking out for the community, speaking out for the people, to come on board and come and appear on this show. Otherwise, you will never go wrong. It is Classic FM radio station 98.9, the station of the people for the people. We are inviting our leaders bamwenso abafirokulanda. You come to Classic FM radio station. It is a peaceful radio station, and you are not going to be beaten. Mwenso nshimwa kwata. It is from talking where you are going to acquire what you want. Ichi sosa chipa mano. Come to Classic FM radio station 98.9, the station of the people for the people. And of course, not forgetting that even as we are heading towards the 2021 general elections, nishta yaku peperana, despite each and every political affiliation you are, it is time for us to pray as Zambia. Ama elections techintu chayanguka. Let us be able to come together, unite, and pray for the nation Zambia, so that even as the time that is going to come for us to go to the polls, we will be able to have a peaceful country, a peaceful time of electing our president, which is going to be chosen by God himself through us, our people. Otherwise, for those who have joined us today on the Classic Talk, of course, it has been me, Margaret Kangwa, your presenter for the Classic Talk. Do get to catch us even next week, as we are going to bring you something very, very, very big and something special for you, our dear listeners, so that you need to be informed, to be educated, as well as to be entertained. Keep on enjoying the program, even as you are going to be, of course, being taken over by our own best professional DJs, who are going to give you much of the entertainment and what you deserve. Remember, it is Classic FM radio station, and we believe everything is all done best in your best for you, our dear listeners. Otherwise, it is Classic FM radio station 98.9 with me, Lazarus, with me, Margaret Kangwa, and my special guest, Mr. Lazarous Simukoko. We say, Mr. Lazarus.
Okay, natotera sana pali fionse, you know, this country, of course, nachiraba kono kweba abantu. Bare tupepera ko. Fema leaders kubare chaspa, if they pray for us, chire chimipa chakwa chiwa chidia, tachakala twingira.
Exactly.
Bambi bengira kale fimipa shisho na bena kula bapeperera kofi mkwai.
Exactly.
Chokwena natotera sana pali inonshita.
Okay, otherwise with me and my special guest, it is a pleasant listening, and may God bless Zambia.
Twelenganye